Problems. We all have them. They can weigh on us from small problems like I'm out of milk and my coffee's ruined, all the way to I'm not sure if my job is right for me. Bring to mind a problem you're trying to solve right now. Do you have your problem in mind? Would you love to have that solution? By applying these 3 tools, it will make accessing that solution much easier for you. Number 1 is to solution find versus problem solve. When I first heard the term solution find, I absolutely loved it. Because as long as our energy and our focus is on the problem, we're thinking about the problem. Solution find means that we know there is no problem we can have that doesn't have a solution. We live in a universe where there's no question that we can ask that doesn't have an answer. So as we shift our thinking to I am solution finding rather than problem solving, we're now in a higher level of thinking to access that solution. When Einstein says we cannot solve a problem with the same thinking that created that problem, this is exactly what he was referring to. We have to get on a thinking mind of accessing the solution. So one of the ways that we do that is think about how you're going to feel when this problem is solved. How are you going to feel when you have that solution and you're now in the solution of it? Imagine you're on the other side of the problem and it's solved. And you're in the freedom of that and the feeling tone of that. How will that feel? How will you be thinking? Accessing that type of thinking as your solution finding will help you get on the frequency or the thinking of the solution and off of the frequency of the problem. Number 2 is who are you talking to about the problem? We tend to go to other people who are struggling with the same thing we are and talk about our problem with them. What happens then is we get into a group think about the problem instead of about the solution. Really important to access people who have solved that type of problem, who aren't bought into the emotion and the struggle of your problem, to access their level of thinking, their level of resources as you're working towards the solution. I remember a time where we were working on raising a significant amount of financing for the organization that I worked with, and it felt like a big number, and we worked really hard to try to access that capital until at one point we made the decision to talk to a consultant who wasn't inside of our day-to-day problem about it. And the first thing he said to me was, "Oh, $40 million? That's nothing."
No problem.
And I knew that I wanted to access and connect to somebody who didn't think my problem was big, because he would have different thinking and different ideas than I did from my level of awareness. So as you're trying to solve your problem, who are you talking to about it? And is there somebody else you can connect with that can help you think about that problem differently? Number 3 is asking different questions. It's been said that the quality of our life is determined by the quality of questions that we're asking. If you look at your problem, start noticing what questions am I asking about this? We can be asking, why is this happening? Here I go again. What am I gonna do? I don't know. And we're in this thinking of not being able to overcome our challenge or our problem. Challenging ourselves to ask different questions helps to unlock a new level of thinking. Ask yourself, if I didn't believe this was impossible, how would I feel right now? If I knew that there was a solution to this problem, what question would I be asking? Asking yourself, even what's a different question that I can ask about this problem? Challenging your thinking, challenging the questions that you're asking will help you to access different thinking, different ideas, different solutions. What's a new question that you can ask as you're solving your problem? Problems and challenges are a natural part of our growth, of our evolution. It's how we expand, it's how we grow. The opportunity is how we're interacting with that problem. Apply these 3 things and you'll get more into that solution-based thinking, and problems will become a lot easier and a lot more fun to solve. Is this how you approach problems already? Will this way of thinking help you with your next problem you need to solve? I have a downloadable worksheet in the link below that will help you take the steps to work through your current problem and access those solutions. Here is to you living a life you love.